Hi everyone, welcome back to the Netflix project lesson. In this lesson, we will be discussing the section 2 of our project. Okay then, let's take a look at what this lesson would feature. So in this lesson, we're discussing or be working on elements such as the image element, some input types, some paragraphs, and some buttons as well. Okay, so let's dive in. So with my VS Code open, I'm going ahead to open my project folder. So my project folder is on my desktop. Okay, so guys, after this lesson I'll be uploading the files to my GitHub. So we have a professional site called a GitHub where programmers can upload files or designers can upload files to the site so that other users or other end users or students or anyone can have access to the file once the designer or the programmer shares his or her link. So I'll be uploading the files, the complete project files, to my GitHub, and the files has the images and the programming codes or the program codes in it. So you can check it out. You can check my GitHub and get the files. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to go ahead to create a section with a class of second underscore container. My second container. Inside this container, I have some divs, but let's take a look at what the image looks like. Okay, so before the inputs, we have some text and some headers over here and some images. So let's create a div to hold our text. So create a division here with a class of, okay, let's just create a division first and create a paragraph. A paragraph with a class of text, txt, and oh, this has step, step what? Let's confirm. So step 3 of 3. And our 3 over here is bolding. So to bolding our text, we have the B tag for bolding. So 3 outside here off, under bolding 3. Nice. So let's load this with Lifesaver. Okay, so we have our text displayed right here. Let's continue. What's next? You have set up your credit or debit card, and that looks like an H1. Let's try an H1 to see if it will be nice. So H1, set up, set, step, set up your credit or debit card. Alright, let's see if H1 will be okay. H1 is quite okay, but what I'll prefer we use is the span. So the span is more like a tag that helps us to create a space, a reserved space where we can edit that space, or we can give that space a class and edit whatever content that span holds. So to do that, you type span and you get the span tag. So span over here, and Control X to cut. Oh, Control span. So span, Control X. Nice. Control V. Save that. Let's see what effect that has. Okay, so it's just a smaller text, so we can edit that later. All right, let's move on. Let me just enlarge this for now. What do we have next? Okay, we have images. So before we move on to the images, let's style our two elements we have over here. So this span has a class of font. Since it's just holding a font, let's bolden our text from here. So that we don't do that in CSS. Control S. All right. Okay. So in our CSS code, we are just going to edit our element. So the first one to begin with is our font. So font, and the font has a font size of, let me check from my picture. Hmm. Let's start with 15 to see if 15 will be okay. So 15 pixel, 15 pixel, Control S. No, let's increase it by 5, so 20 pixel. Still not okay. Let's add 5 more, 25. I think 25 is a bit okay. Yes. So let's keep it at 25, and let's add a font width. Font width is how heavy we want our font to look like. It's more like a bolding type. So font width. So the width of the element, font width. Or font weight, not width, the weight. So font weight rather. So font weight, let me just set it to the last weight we have over here. So 900, our font weight. Okay. Wait, let me see the effect. I didn't really see the effect. So let me comment this out. So guys, this is how to comment in CSS. We first start with an asterisk and a forward slash. So to begin, we start with a forward slash followed by an asterisk, and you end with a forward slash and an asterisk. No, an asterisk and a forward slash. Sorry. So this, I don't think anything happened over here. Let me save this. Nothing really happened, but then let's just keep it like this to see. Our next element to edit over here is our text. So dot txt, and what can we do to the text? Let's check from the image. What can we do? You can change the color. It's not too black. Yes, it's not too black. So you can change the color and the font size as well. Let's see. So you can change the color, the font size. So let's start with the color. So color, let's set that to this hashtag 303030. I think we should set the font to the same color. So this, let's see. All right. Now the font size. Let's start with a 10 pixel. Let's confirm from our picture. 10 pixel. It's more. Yes, it's more. So let's make it a 15. 15. Okay, 15 is better. Okay. So I think we are done with our first part of section 2. The next part is the pictures. So our credit cards. So let's do that. VS code. Okay. So credit card. Inside the same section, we create another container to hold our credit card. So our credit card images. And this container has a class name of CC, which stands for credit card underscore container. Credit card container. Inside this credit card container, we have how many images? One, two, three, four. Four images. So img times 4. Just separate this. Yes. So the first image is the visa image. So since our images are in our images folder, just have to start typing them by its root. So root is images and visa is our first image. Control S. Second image is, let's check that, Mastercard. So images, Mastercard. Second image. Third image is American Express. Images, American. Okay. The last one is the Discovery. So Discovery. Nice. Control S to save, and let's see. Wow, very huge pictures. Okay. So the alternative here is um, a display text, or a text that will be displayed when our image fails to load. So in case our image over here, I misspelled the visa without the I, what alternative or what text do you want to be displayed in case the image failed to load? So if I key in something here as in visa, visa card image, control S, and it fails to load, we have our text over here, which is visa card image. So at the bottom of our Mastercard, the left bottom, we have a visa card image text displayed over here. Okay, so let me just correct my code and let's move on. Control S. So I'm just going to do that for all. Change this to credit card image, and copy and paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here as well. Okay, now let's head over to editing our pictures. And from the look of things, I don't think the pictures have the same height and width, so I'm just going to give them different classes so that don't complicate things. So class 1, or the first class for our visa card, is first underscore cc. This will be um, second underscore cc, and I think, let me just edit the first two and see if I can use the same. So the first credit card, so in our css dot first underscore cc, and we have width of, let's confirm from our picture. So from our picture, let's start with 20 pixel. Let's see, width of 20 pixel, control S, and it's too small. 20 pixel is too small. Let's make it a 30. Still too small. Make it a 37. Is this thing even changing at all? Okay, let's just stick to this and move on. Border of 0.5 pixel. Since it's a very small image, solid, hashtag 3030, yes, not black. And a border radius. Border radius, is that necessary? Let's confirm from the picture. Yes, it's very necessary. Border radius of 2 pixel. So the border radius defines how curvy our edges will be, the curveness or the sharpness of our image. So we don't want our image edges to be too pointed. So to do that, we include the border radius to round up the edges. Okay, let's continue with our next credit card, which is second credit card. Second underscore cc. It's a class dot, amazement dot. Okay, so let me just copy this paste it here, and I don't need a border for this one. All right, Control S to save. And I think the Visa looks bigger than the MasterCard, so let's increase this by a 40 to see 40. Yes, okay, they look the same now. Okay, let me copy the first credit card class and apply it to the rest of the pictures to see if it will be the same. Control C, Control V. Right. No, the American Express looks smaller. So let's change the class to the second. Let me just highlight this and Control D to select second. Nice. Okay. So they look quite the same now. Alright. So let's confirm what we have next on our section 2. So we are done with the images. We are done with the images. Next is our input. So to do the input, create a division for that one too as well. Okay, so inside the same section, inside our same second section, create a division. So this division has a class of input forms, input underscore form. Okay, and in this input underscore form, what do we have? So we have our forms. All right, so form, just for the form, action is hash. We are not sending it anywhere. We're just creating a user input, a user input, no database. Okay, so how many inputs do we have? How many inputs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 inputs. So input, and I think all should have the same class. Let me check. Yes, all would have the same class with a class of input box. Input underscore box times 6. Okay, let me line this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. And let me add a placeholder. So placeholder is the faint text we see inside our input box. So the faint text we see inside our input box is a placeholder. So I don't want to write anything, or I want my input box to automatically display a message to my user, but then I don't want to input anything inside. I want the code to automatically do that. How do I do that? So use the input use a placeholder to hold a name or a data which will be displayed to our user. So let me just keep the placeholder here empty for now. What do we have next? We should name them just for database sake. So name, and let's name, this will be first name. So first name, last name, last name. I think this is card number, card number, and expiry date. So is it expiry or expiration? So expiration date, expiration date, no space, and security code, security code, security, no space, code. And the last one is billing zip code. So let me just keep it billing code, billing code. All right, so let's start with copying our first name and placing it inside our placeholder. Edit this, Copy the second, paste. Okay, so let's add the rest of the details. This is small d, not a capital D, and we have mm forward slash, yes, forward slash yy. Second edit is cvv, c double v, and zip capital. Alright, let's save this and see what happens. Perfect. So we need to align this input up. So we need to align them in such a way that this comes next to this, and this comes beneath this, and this comes beneath, like that. So to do that, you are going to add a break sequence. So break br here, br, br, oh, no billing, br, br, and a br, and a br, so s. Nice. We are done. Let's, okay, everything here is perfect. Now let's head over to css to edit this out. So input box is its class name. So input box underscore box, its class name. And what do we have in the input box? We have some space around, yes, some spaces, some width, and some border radius. So our box is not too sharp, and I think some padding to expand the input box. Okay, so let's start with margin at the bottom. So a margin of 10 pixel will do. Let's save this and see. Okay, margin of 10 pixels is okay. So width, let's give it 100%, and a padding. This padding is going to expand our input box. So 5px on the left, 5px on the right. Okay, let's start with the top. So top of 20px, right of 5px, bottom of 20px, and left of 5px, and let's see if this will be okay. Okay, so let's just keep it like this for now. And what's next? A border of 1px, 1px solid. mm, 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 mm. Let's give it a hash color. So solid px hashtag 757575 control s. Okay, this is okay. And the border radius, so border radius of 3 pixel, 3 pixel. Okay, all right, so let's compare that to our image. Okay, so 3 pixels. Okay, so guys, you see how big or wide our input box is because we haven't set our div to a certain criteria. So the div in which the form or the input box is set to 100 pixel, so 100% rather. So once I have also set this criteria to 100%, it will automatically take the full weight of its parent element. So over here, our input box is using a block display, and in our previous lesson I helped you guys understand that block display takes the full width of its element. So the elements inside the parent element, or the children elements inside the parent element, take the full width of its parent element. Alright, so to edit that, let's change our display, and to do that, first let's start with editing our second container. So second underscore container, and let's give this some margin on the top to shift it 20 pixel. Let me see, let's confirm that from the picture. Okay, 20 pixel. Let me see. Okay, 20 pixel, yes. Okay, and I think I should minimize this so that you can see the changes now. 20 pixel, and the next thing to do is the width. So the width should be 100%. Also, the height should also be 100%, and some margin at the bottom. Okay, for now let's ignore this. I'm not sure it will be necessary for now. Okay, so nothing happens. Let's edit the next div for our, okay, let me change this to in, input input form is not okay. User input. Let me just say user input or user form. Okay, user form is quite okay. Okay, so user form inside our css dot user underscore form. All right, so a margin top here, just adding a margin to the top, 10 pixel. Okay, just to shift the form from the picture. Okay. Outside this, now let's set our display for the forms itself. So the form has a form underscore container, if I've made the reference right. So let's confirm. So form underscore container. Okay, so to correct this, I think I skipped something. Here. Let's make a correction here. Everything here is in a container, is in a section, and everything here from the picture is part of the form. So section 2 is a whole form. So let's just cut everything here, Control X to cut, and create a division, a div with a class of form underscore container. So everything there is a form container. Nice. And paste everything back. Okay, then just copy my class name, paste here. I did this because everything here, everything on section 2 has to be centered in the middle. So if I'm to do that, then I have to put everything here in another div before bringing the actual parent divs or the actual children divs for every element. So I place that in a bigger div. So a bigger div called the form container, the forms container. All right, let's move on. So back to CSS. Okay, so inside our forms container, we should set the display here. I don't want it to be displayed in block, so I want it to be in a grid, and I want it to be centered in the middle. So justify content center, and I want the position here to be relative. Nice. So this is what I wanted. Okay. All right. So the video or the lesson is past 30 minutes, and I normally don't want the lesson to be more than a 30 minutes. So I'm going to pause here, and I'll make a part 2 of lesson 2 on this video. So I hope to see you guys in part 2 of lesson 2.